I welcome y'all to the PPL live show. Shit's liver than a California sideshow. On the board, all the teams talking mad shit, especially when the squad gets their ass kicked. PPL's like a bad bitch with an ass lift. Everybody wants to get some action. Making trades while we're drafting. One of a kind, no other they can match it. PPL ever coming to you live. 12 years strong and we're never gonna die. Real talk so you know we'll never lie. Betting down 50 trying to win the whole pie. Let's get the shit cracking. Welcome to the best sports show on the planet. Damn it. Tune in to the PPL live show. Kick your feet up like the blunt, get your eyes low. PPL gets you ready for the week. Co-host Matt Page shows hate when he speaks. Gino and the Jake gonna speak what he see. PPL motherfucker, I'm a OG. I'm ready for the shit to get started. Time to find out who's good and who's garbage. It's time to find out who the next champ is. Trying to win the whole pot, time to go cash in. World War III, time to load up your team. Hit the battlefield, leaving blood on the scene. You can speak what you think, I don't care what you mean. Focused on me, steady building my team. Now I'm sicker than COVID-19. EJ hops on the throne, but I'm coming for a seat. So's everyone else in the league. I just don't see a challenger stronger than me. With that said, dog, I'm ready for war now. Like I'm strapped in the hood, kicking doors down. PPL is my game now. Used to be fun, but the shit in the game now. Bringing the pain now. Oppositions laid down. Done with the flow, dog. Nothing left to say now.
And that was our man Charlie White giving us the 2020 intro to PPL Live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Gino the Gent here. All right, we got Ulysses as Hate on the line. Week 6 is here. Another week of PPL Live. Let's jump right in. Let's start with recap last week's scores. Starting with the Argonauts defeating the Baby Gas team 113-72. Squad underestimated shows that they still have life, defeating Appease the Gods 141-84. The Skulls almost beat the UP by 100, 145-55. Only for the Boss, in another huge effort, scores 163 to the Mean Machines 131. And the Gaff Attack leaves no doubt on Patty's Twins 163-92. The Leave No Doubt Player of the Week, unanimous again, Patrick Mahomes again. Yes, only for the Boss once again in the driver's seat, led by Patrick Mahomes, who went for 340 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception, and added another touchdown on the ground with 21 yards rushing for 30 points to lead. Only for the Boss in their big win in the prestige matchup of the week against the Mean Machine. Alrighty, and now we're going to jump right into week 6. We're all set. We started interconference warfare, and we're going to start with the Only for the Boss taking on the United Players, the Destroyers. All right, man, Only for the Boss right now is probably, like we said, the toughest team to play in the PPL. Patrick Mahomes, the Leave No Doubt Player of the Week, was awesome. Calvin Ridley finally got back into the groove of things. James Conner added a touchdown. And I mean, everywhere you look, this team is stacked. Stephon Diggs, even on the bench, they got Raheem Mostert. And obviously the UP, they don't seem very interested in playing this year, and I don't have much interest in talking about them. What do you think of Only for the Boss and United Players and Destroyers?
Yeah, United Players has entered dead money status.
Okay.
This season's dead in the water. Best player on the team is arguably Robbie Anderson. Insert facepalm here.
Yeah.
This is a cakewalk. Only for the Boss rolls. I think that they have a big day. I look at the matchup and how Buffalo has been exploitable this season. Definitely a disappointment defensively, and they're hitting all strides. They're going to hold the Seahawks coach, I'm sure, not have to worry. And I think it's still easy. I got them going 132 to the United Players 83.
All right, I'm going to have to agree with you wholeheartedly. I got Only for the Boss in this one as well. Even if United Players, the Destroyers, were to make some lineup adjustments, which I doubt that they're going to do, Only for the Boss is showing that they're going to be the Juggernaut era style winner this year. They're by far the most dangerous team as far as scoring potential goes. Man, I'm looking at Stephon Diggs. He had a pretty solid game in a game that Buffalo really didn't play well in against Tennessee, and he still ended up getting the Boss, I think, an extra like 14 or 15 points when it was, pretty much determined that they were going to win the matchup. I'm looking at their bench. They got a few decisions maybe to make down there. Henry Ruggs is a guy that they got who balled out last week on their bench who's another option that they're going to have later in the season. I'm loving Only for the Boss this year. Now, they may want to get a coach in there. I think against the United players, it may not even matter. Either way, I got Only for the Boss winning this matchup and going to 4-2, 135 to 99. And moving on to our next matchup, we get into a high-scoring affair as former champions face off as the Mean Machine takes on Patty's Twins. All right, man, so these are two of the prouder teams in PPL history. We got the Mean Machine, who had a big Monday night effort from Justin Herbert and Alvin Kamara, but obviously could not pull back into the matchup with Only for the Boss. They made a few tactical errors in that matchup also. Miles Sanders, a guy that you kept, a guy who's pretty much probably one of their main backs, left on the bench in that loss. Probably could have helped them pull off the dub. And obviously Odell was also on the bench for DJ Shark. What do you think of this matchup on both sides? Obviously Patty's Twins has Aaron Rodgers coming back. They fell to the gaff attack. Didn't have much life, but Aaron's back in the lineup. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think you called it. I think that there was a little bit of mismanagement last week from the Mean Machine, and they should have got a win. And I think that their misery continues this week.
Okay.
I think it's mainly driven by bye week. If Alvin Kamara was in this, if Michael Thomas was in this, if Justin Herbert was in this,
right,
I'd be all over the Mean Machine. But that ain't the case.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, I mean, if he's doing anything, he's probably going to Robert Woods, so that's kind of mitigated for me.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers is looking pretty mighty, and I think we might see a clash of some older Titans in that Tampa Bay game.
Oh, definitely.
I think that Aaron's going to try to go out there and shit. I think that Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts are for real this season, and I think that the one travail here is that they're going to have to find a head coach, I think, to win here. It has not been their strong suit, and so I think that they go out and get this win, though, just based on the fact that the bye week is really hurting the Mean Machine. I got the Twins going 128 to 122.
All right. This is probably one of the tougher matchups to call, and this is also one of the funner matchups of the weekend, just because these two teams are very historically very good teams, and they tend to do the right things. As far as doing the right thing, the Twins do need a coach in this matchup. I don't think they're going to be able to get by without one. And obviously the Mean Machine is going to need a defense. They won't be able to get by without a defense either. I am going to lean to Patty's Twins. And the reason that I'm probably going to lean their way is because I'm loving Jonathan Taylor and I'm loving the upside that he's providing for the Indianapolis Colts. This guy is turning into a top 5 ranking running back week in and week out. He's getting the opportunities, and he's showing the potential to be, a keeper for many years to come. The Twins needed to solidify something at running back, and they were able to do that. On the Machine side, I like the James Robinson play and pickup, but I don't like it at the expense of a stud like Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders should never leave the Machine's lineup, and it was something that really cost him last week because Miles Sanders had a huge game. I know that they're playing the Steelers, and I can understand why you don't want to play them against the Steelers. But, I mean, you got to play your studs, and I think that kind of hurt him. Looking around at the matchup, though, I'm not all that convinced about the Mean Machine's replacement players. Patty's Twins is rolling with pretty much the guy she would roll with on a regular week. So I'm going to go with Patty's Twins also to win this matchup, 116 to 108. And moving on to our next matchup. We have the Baby Gas team taking on the Gaff Attack. All right, man, the Gaff is rolling 4-1. Leave no doubt last week behind the Ravens defense, scoring 28 points. And then he also got a great coach effort. He's finding unconventional ways to score. Obviously, Todd Gurley woke up, was 2018 Todd Gurley in that matchup for him last week. And then on the BGT side, they fell to the Argonauts, but they didn't put up much of a fight. Looks like they were able to log in and get their team set up this week. What do you think of this matchup, BGT Gaff?
I'm really torn in this matchup, and I'm really feeling for the Gaff, and more so for Dak Prescott.
Wow.
I mean, hard to lose a guy that you picked that high.
Yeah.
I mean, for that team, for the franchise, it was pretty gruesome. And for the Gaff, I mean, it just so happens that happens the week before Russell Wilson goes on a bye.
Right.
And so, I mean, you go from having Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson to a Gardner Minshew. That's a huge drop off.
Right.
And I don't know, he's going with A.J. Brown and Geno Smith in Tennessee. Kind of concerned about those guys and how banged up they may be. And I think he's going to have to play a coach here. And I think if his coach wins, I think he wins this matchup. I think Dalvin Cook not being in the line for the baby gas game, now that he is playing a quarterback, I mean, there is that trade-off. But I'm not wowed by this team right now. I think that, I mean, Giants D might do okay against Washington. Dolphins should win against the Jets. And the Ravens ain't always going to put up 28 points. So I think that the Gaff should win this, but I don't think he's comfortable enough to go without a coach.
Okay.
And so I think he does go out there, though, find a coach, and I think he wins this matchup 112 to 109.
Okay, wow, you got a real close one, man. I don't think it's going to be that close at all. I actually like the Gardner Minshew play because Detroit's a horrible pass defense, and I thought the Gaff did all right getting a replacement in a week that he lost Dak Prescott. But I think that the Gaff missed on an opportunity to get something out of Dak before that injury. I had talked about it a few weeks earlier. If he would have sold while Dak's value was at its highest, he could be sitting really pretty right now. And now he just has a guy that he has to release from the IR spot. That aside, I do like the Gaff's lineup this week. I said Myles Gaskin was going to get shut down by the 49ers. Paint me corrected. I think that he's going to have an even better game against the New York Jets. I think he's turning into a underrated pickup here. DeAndre Hopkins on Monday Night Football to close it out. A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith. I'm starting to like Tennessee's passing game, and I'm thinking Ryan Tannehill's really starting to take that next step. On the BGT side, I love that Cam's back, but he's lost his best player. Dalvin Cook's not in the lineup. T.Y. Hilton and DJ Moore don't scare me. I got the Gaff, man. I think the Gaff has another solid, strong week. He gets the intangible scoring again. I would say maybe Zane Gonzalez goes for like 14 points. I got the Gaff attack winning this matchup 131 to 107. And moving on to our next matchup, things are getting crucial here as Squad Underestimated, fighting for their life, takes on the Resurgent Skulls. All right, man, so we got Squad Underestimated, got a big win last week against Appease the Gods. This was a team that we've kind of left for dead. And then the Skulls, they're just starting to rack up the dubs, and they're starting to look like one of the stronger teams in the PPL. Something's got to give in this matchup, man. Both of these teams have a Cinderella quality. Both of these teams have an underdog quality, but both of these teams also have a quality that they can beat you in any given week. What do you think Squad Underestimated Skulls, man?
Yeah, I got Squad winning this matchup.
Okay.
And I think the big thing is I think that this is a week where the buys are gonna really impact the Skulls.
Okay.
Not having those two wide receivers, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and with Darren Waller, really, I mean they just have a lot of star power that's out of the lineup.
Right.
I mean, Chris Carson on the other side is out, but I think that they get Christian McCaffrey back this week.
Do they?
I think that looking at both squads, I think that both defenses have decent matchups. I think that both head coaches should win.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Kyler Murray's playing. Again, I think Christian McCaffrey comes back. There's no reason why Adam Thielen shouldn't ball out against a terrible Atlanta team.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Galladay. I'm liking the matchups for squad this week. Where I look at the other side, I mean, Tyler Boyd, Cincinnati's terrible. The Colts are a good defense, good pass defense. Mm-hmm. I think they shut that down. Marvin Jones, Jacksonville. I'm not sold, and you know. Jimmy may actually factor here, but I think that they lose a close one here, and I think that this one turns into a real interesting matchup, not just for inter-league play, but for potential playoff implications. Because I think both teams leave this 3-3. Squad gets this one for me, 128 to the Skulls 126.
Okay. This one's the toughest matchup of the weekend for me to pick right now. And I hear you with the Christian McCaffrey thing. The only thing is that if McCaffrey doesn't play, Mike Davis does, and Mike Davis is on the skull. So I think that this matchup could possibly turn on Christian McCaffrey's availability. Mike Davis has been a more than adequate replacement for Christian, and he's scored the points to prove it. I think this matchup going down the line though favors the Skulls at running back and the squad at wide receiver. And with that said, I got to go with a team that's stronger at running back. Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt, and potentially Mike Davis going up against, Henderson Jr. And whatever running back squad decides to go with, just kind of leaves me with a little bit more for the Skulls. Like you said, their intangible plays are pretty even. I think that both sides shouldn't have much to worry about as far as coach and defense. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the Skulls winning a close one. 127 to 122. All right, and moving on to the prestige matchup of the week. We have the first place back-to-back champion Argonauts taking on Appease the Gods. All right, man, so we obviously both know a lot about this matchup. Argo, Appease the Gods, the Athens and Sparta of the PPL. In a showdown in Alpha and Omega. What do you think of this one? The Argonauts obviously come in with a 3-game winning streak. Probably not one of the best winning streaks they've ever had, but 3 wins in a row. And Appease the Gods had a tough loss against Squad Underestimated. What do you like about this matchup, Argo, Appease the Gods?
Yeah, I mean, what I like is that Appease the Gods has basically the full kind of roster to go with, where the Argos obviously nicked up to injury, not having Josh Jacobs, Drew Brees, Justin Jackson. Those are all going to be impactful for a team that has not been scoring as highly as they have in the past.
Right.
The fact that he's going with Roethlisberger, acquired via a trade this week. Appease the Gods is going with Eric Ebron until Noah Fant is fully healthy.
Right.
I'm not sure what to think of Dallas. I mean, with Andy Dalton, we'll see what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers are quality. I think Kittle has a tougher matchup this week with the Rams team that's probably more game planning for him, divisional rivalry. And I think right now, I'm not sure what's happening with the Patriots and if they're playing this week.
Right.
I mean, there's some concern that game may get pushed, and that would be problematic for the Argos at this point. Because I think that there's still quite a few teams that are going to be doing some action around the defense and head coach area.
Right.
Other side, again, Appease the Gods is going with the full lineup, and with Alexander Madison getting to have first crack with Dalvin Cook being out.
Right.
I like Washington against the Giants. I like the Packers to win against Tampa Bay. I think that this is a competitive matchup, but I just think that Appease the Gods has more of their weapons at their disposal. I've got them winning this one 135 to 129.
All right, I'm going to have to agree with you. Just basing on scoring metrics, it doesn't like the Argonauts can keep up with Appease the Gods so far this season. But one of the things that ATG is going to need to get back is Lamar Jackson. I don't know where this guy's head's been so far this season. He started out real strong. The last couple of weeks, he just really hasn't been able to get into his flow, get into his rhythm. And I think that slowed down his scoring potential, as you saw last week. ATG is going to need Lamar to come back. Joe Mixon seems like a guy that he's going to give you one good performance a month. And then, you'll see him again in December or November. They're going to need more from Joe. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, this is probably his last chance to be the bell cow in Kansas City with Le'Veon Bell's arrival. So I think that they put together a big game for him. I like Mike Evans in a shootout against the Packers. And Allen Robinson, I've seen this guy's praises every week. On the Argonauts side, I think that Dak Prescott's injury actually helps Ezekiel Elliott. You saw the minute that Dak got hurt, they went back to what they were good at, and that was running the football. Zeke ended up with 2 touchdowns last week. The Devonta Freeman, that's a plug and play. Devontae Adams is going to be the guy if the Argonauts win. Why they win? He's going to have to play a big time game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's going to have to be Aaron's go-to guy. I agree with you on George Kittle. And yeah, the Patriot situation is going to be something for the Argonauts to monitor. But the real reason that I like ATG is Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison is a guy who I've sung the praises of for years. He's from the Southern California area, so I have a soft spot for him. I think that he's going to have a huge game with Bell Cow's status against the Atlanta Falcons. They're horrible against the run. I think Minnesota's going to be able to control that game. And Madison comes up with a 25-point effort that leads Appease the Gods over the Argonauts. I got ATG winning this matchup 141-138. Alrighty, ladies and gents, thanks for another week of PPL Live. Good luck. See you next week, and may the odds be ever in your favor.